Hi everyone, I'm Jackie. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this adorable rectangle baby blanket. It measures 50 inches by 31 inches. And I'm going to put you on pause and set my camera up and we'll get started. Okay, I'm all set up. I'm using a 6mm hook, but you can use whatever size you want. And I'm using a size 4 yarn. What you're going to want to do first is chain 52, and when you get that done, we are going to go into the 4th chain from the hook and do a half double crochet. 2, 3, 4. Just like that. And we're going to chain 1 and do another half double crochet. Oh, I'm sorry. This right here already counted as our first V-stitch. The chain 4 counts as a half double crochet, chain 1, and a half double crochet. So now we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to do another V-stitch in that same stitch. So now we have a V-stitch, a chain 2, and we're going to have another V-stitch because we're going to chain 1 more and another half double crochet. So all that makes 1 V-stitch, chain 2, and another V-stitch. And now what we're going to do is we are going to skip 2 chains, and then we're going to do a V-stitch. So that's a half double crochet, chain 1, and another half double crochet. And that makes a V-stitch. And don't worry about your chains stretching like that. They will go back. And just continue this all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, I've made it to the end of the row, and here's my last V-stitch. So now we are going to, in the same stitch, this is going to be our corner, we're going to chain 2. We're going to do a V-stitch. So we've got our the V-stitch that we put in the last stitch, and then we chained 2. Then we did a V-stitch here. Now we're going to chain 2 more and go right back in that same stitch and do another V-stitch. Just like that. So this is how it's going to look. You've got that last V-stitch we did there. Then we did the chain 2, a V-stitch, chain 2, and another V-stitch. So now on this side it's a little bit easier because we're going to go right on top of the V-stitches from this side. And we're going to make V-stitches in those. Half double crochet, chain 1, go back in with another half double. Just like that. And we're going to continue this. See, I'm skipping these 2 chains, going right on top of that V-stitch from the other side. And I'm going to continue this all the way to the end of the row, and I will meet you at the very end and show you how to hook on there. Okay, I'm at the end of my row. Now, oops, here is the last single crochet we did here, and this is the end right here. These are going to be the corners. So we're going to go in here and we're going to do a V-stitch. As we already started half the corner when we started this row. So now, let's see, we did our V-stitch here. Now we're going to chain 1. And then in the second chain, 1, 2, we're going to do a single crochet. Just like that. And now we're ready to begin row 2. So we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to go back into the corner. This is going to be the top, and you have the chain 2 space here. That's a corner. And right here is the chain 1, and then here's your chain 2 space. We're going to do a single, we're going to go back into it and do a single crochet like that. And now at the top here, we're going to do 7 double crochets. So when we attached to the second chain, we did a single crochet, chained 1, went back into the chain 2 space, which is a corner, and now, and in that space we did a single crochet. Now we're going into this chain 1 space right there on the top, and we're going to do 7 double crochets. Six, and one more, 7. And now in this chain 2 space here, which is going to be the corner, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next V-stitch we're going to do 7 double crochets, the next V-stitch a single crochet, and you're going to continue that all the way to the end. You're going to do, here's a single crochet, the next V-stitch 7 double crochets, next V-stitch a single crochet, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I made it to the end, and I did forget to tell you I used 2 skeins of each color. You could even do it just in one color if you'd like, but I forgot to mention that to you. Okay, so I'm at the end of my row. So we've got this V-stitch and chain 2 space, V-stitch, chain 2 space, and V-stitch. So we just did a single crochet. So in this first V-stitch, we're going to do 7 double crochets. And 7. And then now we're in this 2 chain space. We're going to do a single crochet. And in that top 1 chain space there, we're going to do 7 more double crochets. And 7. Our chain 2 space, single crochet. Then we're going to jump to our V-stitch here. And we're going to do 7 double crochets there. And 7. And that's what it should look like right now. You've got your 7 doubles, single, 7 doubles, a single, and 7 doubles. And so now the next V-stitch is we're going to do just like on the other side. We're going to do a single crochet, 7 doubles, single crochet, 7 doubles. And I will meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. This is the end of row 2. I did my last 7 double crochets, and here's that chain 2 space from the previous row. Here's our single crochet that we did at the beginning of this round. We're going to slip stitch into there, just like that. Now we're going to chain 4, and we're going to go right back into that same stitch and do a double crochet. And that's the beginning of a corner, and we'll finish it out at the end of the row. Now we're going to chain 5. So that's 2, 3, 5. Now we're going to skip over these 7 double crochets, and in the single crochet here, we're going to make that a corner. So we're going to do a double crochet. Oops. Okay. Going to go into that single crochet. We're going to do a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. We're going to chain 2. Now we're going to go right back in that same spot, and we're going to do another V-stitch, just like that. So we have our V-stitch, chain 2, and a V-stitch. Now we're going to chain 5 again, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip over these 7 crochets. We're going to go into that single crochet there. This is what you call the bridge rows. So it's just going to be V-stitches, just like that. And go ahead and continue chaining 5, pass over your 7 crochets, do a V-stitch, skip over the 7 crochets, V-stitch, until you get to the corner here, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the end of my row. I've got my 5 chains here. I'm going to skip over these 7 double crochets. I'm going to go into that single crochet there and do a double crochet V-stitch, which is your double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. Here's my V-stitch, chain 2, and another V-stitch. And chain 5, jump over to your next single crochet, and we're going to do a V-stitch, chain 2, and another V-stitch. And there's our 2 corners. So you're going to continue to the end of this row. You're going to chain 5, do your V-stitch in the single crochet, chain 5, another V-stitch in your single crochet, and I'll meet you at the end here. Okay, I'm at the end of row 3. I did my last chain 5 here, and we're going to finish this corner out. So we're going to do a V-stitch in the same stitch that we did the very first V-stitch here. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, and in the second chain from this double crochet, we're going to do a single crochet in that second chain, just like that. And now we're going to start row 4. This is the shell row. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to go back into this chain 2 space, and we're going to do a single crochet. Now we're going to chain or do 7 double crochets in this V-stitch. Six, whoops, and 7. Now we are going to anchor down these 5 chains onto the top of these 7 double crochets. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to count back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. On that top of the 4th double crochet, you're going to go into the 2 top loops and then go under that chain 5. And you're going to do a single crochet, just like this. Come back under all that. And there you go. Now you're going to come back over here to this V-stitch and do 7 double crochets. And 7. And then that corner here, the chain 2 space, you're going to do a single crochet. In the next V-stitch, you're going to do 7 double crochets. Then you're going to anchor this chain 5 down. You're going to count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into it and make sure your chain 5 is over top of that, and then do a single crochet to attach it. And just keep doing that all the way to the end here. And I think you're getting the hang of it. So when you come to the corners, just do your 7 double crochets here, your single crochet in that chain 2 space, 7 doubles, and then anchor this one down here and do your next corner. And I will meet you all the way to the end of that row, and we'll start row 5. Okay, I'm at the end of row 4. I've done my 7 double crochets, and now we are going to go over here and slip stitch into that single crochet that we did at the beginning of the row. Slip stitch. And so now we're going to start row 5, and then we're going to do row 6, and you're going to just repeat row 5 and 6 until you get your blanket the size you want. So now we're going to chain 4 and then go back into that same stitch, do a double crochet. That's the start of our corner. Now we're going to chain 5. Well, let's see, now I lost count. 1, 2. Now we're going to skip over these 7 double crochets and do our V-stitch. Chain 5. And you're going to jump over here to the next single crochet and make a corner. Do a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet, chain 2, and another V-stitch. And just continue this all the way to the end of this side here. And when you come down here, you've got your 2 shells up top here and a single crochet here and here. These are going to be your corners. So when you get to the single crochet, do your corner, chain 5, do a V-stitch there, chain 5, and do another corner here, and then just finish this row out here. And I'll meet you at the end of row 5. Okay, I'm at the end of row 5. I've got my 5 chains here. So we're going to go into this where we did our first V-stitch, go into that same stitch and make a V-stitch. Chain 1, go right back in there, another double crochet, that makes a V-stitch. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet into the second loop chain here, 1, 2. We're going to do a single crochet right there. Now we're going to chain, now we're starting row 6. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to go right back into this chain 2 space right back here and do a single crochet, And now our next V-stitch here, we're going to do 7 doubles. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 7. Now we're going to attach our chain 5 to our double crochets. We're going to count back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go through the top loops underneath that 5, chain 5, and do a single crochet, just like that. And then in your next V-stitch, you're going to do your 7 double crochets. You're going to anchor this down with a single crochet. Then here's your corner. You're going to do 7 double crochets in the first V and the chain 2, single crochet, and then your 7 double crochets in the next V, and then just anchor your 5 down and go all the way to the corner and do the corners just like that. 7 double crochets, single crochet, and 7 more double crochets. And I will meet you at the end of row 6. Okay, I'm at the end of row 6. I've just done my last 7 double crochets, and I am going to slip stitch into that first single crochet we did at the beginning of the row. And you will continue to repeat rows 5 and 6 until you get your blanket to the size that you want. And it should look something like this right now. And I want to thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos of mine. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.